Now, what could be a lot more fun than having a GS1100E? Well, we found out today having two of them is a lot more fun. And we had a really great shakedown day with Joe. Now, today is hopefully going to be one of the days, and I've waited a long time for this day. Joe Padula's waited a long time. Joe Padula, a few years ago, bought a GS1100. Very low mileage, and it had some issues that he had to work on. He's been working on it religiously for a long time. The final piece of the puzzle looks like it might have been, he's got my spare carburetors on there. He said it was running great. We're going to try to meet up today, get them both running at the same time, run them side by side, maybe switch bikes, see who does this or does that, or does the ballet better than the cha-cha. It won't really matter. Both of these bikes are really in nice shape. And I think it's going to be a real nice photo op to get them both together at the same place at the same time, and hopefully put some miles on them too. Now, as I pre-flight, which I do all the time, of course, I want to make sure that people understand the differences in the two bikes. They're not exactly twins. My bike has Michelin Commanders, Joe's has Avons. My bike has much higher gearing. It's got actually a 6th gear, in the fact it's got a 40 rear sprocket, a 16 front one. Joe has stock gearing. So I would expect his bike might accelerate a little harder, but then it gets buzzy at 70, 75 miles an hour. I don't know. Until we ride both of them back to back, I'm not going to know. But I want to start off, I want to do the complete pre-flight here, wipe the bike down, clean it up so it looks good on the photo ops. And boy, thinking of what a nice night photo shoot would be for Joe Roselli if we could get the two GSs together at the same time at different angles and do that night painting thing. Wow. And by the way, thank you, Joe, for this. They are in my shop. They're on metal, and they're just unbelievably beautiful. And what happens as you walk down the stairs, you walk right by it. It's a foot away from you. And Karen was real happy with us finding that location. Now, sometimes it's little things, and sometimes it's the smallest of things that make a bike either feel comfortable or uncomfortable. Tire pressure. In this case, because it's hot, I'm putting 30 pounds of pressure in the tire, and they checked out just fine. And I want to be sure, absolutely sure, that I've got all of the little things that I check and wipe down and clean. Because as I'm doing a pre-flight, I'm always looking around and doing things like that. Everything's nice and solid, and when I'm cleaning things, oh, there's a bug up here or a little bit of oil dripping or whatever. These are 40-year-old motorcycles, and they do need a little tender love and care. Now, it should be interesting, now that we're going to, actually, this is going to be the first time we get both of the bikes together. Joe has had his for several years, done a lot of work on it, and I've done, needless to say, since the day I bought this, try to keep it as nice as possible. And let's not kid each other, it's a labor of love just keeping a bike running, let alone keeping it clean and polished and running right, keeping the engine nice and shiny. Now, it'll be interesting to see the bikes side by side. They have different wheel treatments, they have different engines. The engine on Joe's bike does not have the polishing yet. Maybe he's going to do it. He's got a different back disc, a different set of brake lines on his, and he donated the ones to my project. Thank you again, Joe. And there's several other little differences, minor things, that some are polished, some are painted. Some of the things I know he wants to do in the future, we haven't really decided on that yet, but overall, they are just two really nice examples of this bike. Okay, boys, who wants to go see two very, very cool GS1100s? Yeah? Oh, you want to eat instead? Oh. Just send us the food. Forget the cars. Forget the motorcycles. I see one pickle already. Oh, they're everywhere. Picklezillas. Everywhere you want to be.
Look at the yellow squash.
Yeah. One final check of the garden, and we are going to be out on the open road and hopefully meet up with Joe Padula today. This is a day we've waited for a long time. Well, it really has the look of a nice day. It's probably going to get a lot hotter than you think it is, but Joe's already left the house, so we're going to run up and meet him at Chopper's. this is the great unveiling of the Joe Padula GS. Give me the story, Joe. You got it, how many, a year ago? Maybe more?
Probably close to 4 years ago. It's
4 years?
7,100 miles from the original owner.
How many?
7,100.
7,100, wow.
Sat in his garage. He bought it as a leftover in '83.
Right.
Rode it till '85 and then parked it. But he was nice enough to leave a full tank of gas just so I had major problems to deal with.
We all have problems to deal with.
I can't believe I put 600 miles on this bike because it's never run right until last week.
I like the clock. I like your clock better than mine. That's nice. It covers up that bolt. Yeah, that's right. You even got the little stick of the break-in mileage. Ha! I had to peel it off and put it on my bike. 75,000.
Original grips with the mouse teeth marks in them.
Let's see. Beautiful. These are the real grips. You're right. You're right. I don't have them on mine. I wore mine out. Got these. Okay. Thank you for the contribution to my bike. Yeah, that were. And these are the rotors you had cut. You had these cut. I can see the machine mics. Yeah.
Guy in Pennsylvania I found online did a great job in machining. Normally they say if you cut these rotors, it's over. He had some special machine.
He had a jig made?
Well, he had the machinery. He sent me a picture of the... they're not cut like you would get rotors cut in an auto parts store there.
Joe, you know one thing you can do? You can put a front rotor on the back.
I learned that while watching.
It's a lot lighter. Yeah, that's Dallas. Thank you, Dallas. He has got the same exact bike.
It looks like the offset would be different, but
no, exactly the same. It's thinner.
Amazing.
It's just like you had it 2 pounds machined off. Boy, it looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
So this gas tank, I've never done.
So this is the first time I've seen it in real life in one piece. Now, what is that, an oil cooler? Did that come with the bike, or did you put that on there?
This guy had that installed.
Oh, wow.
Because it was, the oil temperature, he said, was running too hot. And he had his mechanic put the oil cooler on, and then it still ran hot. And he found out that there was a problem with the oil pressure temp sensor. But you got a free oil filter at it. I got a free. I have no problem with the oil cooler, other than the fact that it really complicates getting the filter out.
Now, having a bike side by side, and that bike, we were in a nice shady area there at Choppers. It was very apparent what some of the little differences are, and how different a bike you can make a bike look with simple changes, things that are not all inclusive to do. Now, Joe's bike is way more stock and way more original, so probably from a collector point of view, it'd probably be worth more dollars or whatever. And big thing, he's got the stock exhaust on there. I have the 86 exhaust, which is not the correct exhaust for the bike. Joe has the stock wheels, and they cleaned up nice. He's also got the stock speedometer that only goes to 80 miles an hour. I have my original one, which doesn't work anymore. Well, it's got 48,000 miles before it went bad. And then I had to get a regular one. And the little things like the brake discs. Now, I have the EBC floaters. Joe has the original ones. I have a couple extra sets of rotors if he wants to swap out into the back. The little valve covers, it's all details. See, but the rims, you can't really polish the way you should. Some of them have that coating, that clear coating.
Yeah, I don't think these are coated.
Some are and some aren't. Now, your engine is in really nice, clean shape. Wow, that's beautiful.
Castings look really sweet.
Everything's clean, yeah.
Hard to fake them.
This was never out in the rain. And now, did you put these carbs on my carbs, or
no?
These
are my original carbs.
With my parts in them.
With your slides.
Okay, cool.
And rubber diaphragms.
Okay, but as long as it runs, that's all.
It runs pretty darn good.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had even set before I put your slides in, I was so frustrated. You know, I synced them with the vacuum gauges, and then I tune the pilot screws according to the temperature of the exhaust headers.
Right.
Yeah. Sprayed it on the fork legs. I had the forks all apart. I was rebuilding them. Sprayed it on the fork legs, and the first thought that came to my mind was, oh wow, it sprays out foam.
Now we're just out here gassing and hanging out. And here's what's really funny. I think there's a car show somewhere up the road. We've been getting hit with all kind of fancy old cars, and as we're sitting here in the shade gassing,
100 miles. 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 1
we're going to try to hit a little ride up somewhere where we can get some photos of the two bikes together. That would be one of the goals today. We both have to have an early day. We both have stuff to do, so but we'll get 100 miles in. Is that an old Jag? Yes, it is. Old Jag. And it's turning out to be quite a hot day here, but it is fun watching the cars go by. See, I don't even know what some of these cars are. Muzzy, oh, I love the Muzzy on my my GPX 750. That's a Muzzy too. We've ridden with this bike before. It's a kind of beautiful sound. Oh, it's turning out to be a nice day, but it's already getting hot. Son of a gun. Now, what kind of cars? Define the cars for me. What is that? Oh my God, look at those.
It's like a way round. One of those Paganis.
I don't even know enough about cars to know what I'm looking at. Okay, now what is that? This might be a sports car club or something. Jag? Alfa Romeo.
Oh, that's my Alfa. There was one other pipe. I bought the prop of it, and he put his jet kit in, and it changed the bike. The bike was redlined at 15.5. Stock trim, it made 96 horsepower at 13, and then it fell off a cliff. With his jet kit in the pipe, it made 105 at 15.2.
Wow!
Look at that.
Whoa! Well, we're just getting killed with these cars. There's a car show somewhere.
It's running perfect while I touch it, but if the day...
You ready to head up there, baby? Let's look for some spots and stop and take some pictures.
Well, we're going to follow you.
Okay. So we headed out and we were going to look for some really nice photo opportunities along the way and watch how it played out. So one of the objectives today is we didn't want to get too far from home in case Joe had a teething problem, and so we kept it pretty close. We never were more than about 40 miles away from Joe's house, and we took the back roads up to Nairobi Airport where there's a 50s Constellation. It's a whole story unto itself that I've had on my channel many times, but it's a beautiful ride up there, and this turned out to be an absolutely beautiful day. And we didn't want to push it in any dimension here because, again, this is a 40-year-old bike, and this is really only the second or third time it's been far away from home, like a teenager going to college. But we're going to head up to the airport. Here we are at the Bomber, the famous Bomber. 2 GS's and a Bomber. What could be more fun than this? What a great photo. So I thought this airport background with that's a 50s plane, a Connie, and there's a real interesting story behind that, by the way. They flew that in and landed it on a 1,700-foot runway here with a mountain at the end, so they had one shot at it. Very interesting story that's detailed inside. I've always called this the Bomber whenever I go up there. It's Nairobi Airport. It's super motorcycle friendly. The guy that we talked to owned a motorcycle. And they have a little, they used to have anyway, we didn't see if it's still active or not. They had a little coffee shop, a little restaurant. And you can walk out on the wing of a plane up top and have your coffee and watch planes take off and land, which we did. And we hung around for a little while. But the major thrust of today, I wanted to get some pictures of both bikes that I want to have them on my computer for future editing and for future things. So I pretty much did a walk around and we tried to get some pictures of the two bikes with the plane in the background and whatever. And I'm always interested in working on my photography skills. It's a whole separate thing to the video skills, and it is a lot of fun. And I do enjoy having it on my computer. When the winter months come, I'll be looking back at these pictures and thinking, oh my God, we were hot that day. Now, this day really did heat up. It was getting hotter by the minute. And so we were looking to go hang out underneath the Bomber. And we found some chairs and we found some interesting activities were going on while we were actually there with the two bikes. And unfortunately, we parked them in exactly, and you'll see it at the end, the wrong spot at this airport. This is officially known as the Bomber. I've been up here many, many times. Many times. Where are they parachuting?
Look up in the sky.
They are parachuting. Look at this. Check it out.
Two. They're skydiving.
Oh, there are two.
Oh, there's two.
They're parachuting down here.
If I get off from under the plane, I'd see it.
How cool. We just arrived here randomly trying to take some photos. And look what this is all about. Ah!
Hey,
Oh, they probably took that in the red plane.
TJ, listen to me.
What?
What's the last thing that goes through a skydiver's mind if the parachute fails?
It's a Z06
Their
with a
feet.
normal engine.
When they go down,
It is. He's coming down. Look, he's landing.
where are they going to land?
I don't know. Where's
Probably in the grass.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Were they doing this before, or is this...
It's gonna hurt if you don't do something.
Were they doing this before, or is this a new thing?
I can't believe how soft he came down.
Yeah, Tom was getting nervous for him.
Hello!
Oh look, that one must be a training bike, so I think there's 2 feet.
Okay, Joe, you're next.
Supposedly a tandem
Oh,
skydive.
They were out cruising around on GS's, trying to have a relaxing afternoon, and come up to the West Milford Airport, and they're skydiving. And there's an AT-6 down on the runway. Now, quick story about AT-6. Karen got me a 1-hour flight in an AT-6. Is that an AT-6? Yeah, it looks like it. And that was my birthday present. I still have it on video, and it's still out on the channel. You want to see how embarrassing I do maneuvers. There goes Luciano. Hey, Luciano. I feel like I'm back in the aviation community. I'm going to buy another plane. Look at this. This is like eBay for airplanes.
Here's
huh?
a 150
Wow.
for $219. It's a 1975. Wow. Right? A 170.
Boy, these motorcycles are looking better and better, huh?
172 for 134.
Oh my God.
Here's a, and like the nicer they are, or the better condition they are, and the more electronics they have, it starts.
So we ended our little visit here with, there was a gal in the car almost backed into both of the GS's at the same time. We just caught it in time. Oy, oy, oy. Boy, could that have ruined our whole day. Oh, what a day. Beautiful day. Go did a nice little shakedown run on these two puppies. And as I look back, this day just went off like a Rolex watch. We really did have a beautiful ride. And on the way back, we rode all around Greenwood Lake and the back roads and everything. It just could not have been nicer. Absolutely beautiful ride. The day turned out great. And we do have pictures. And when I got home, I texted Joe and he texted me back. We both got back within a minute or two of each other. And nothing broke on either one of the 40-year-old bikes. That's great. And of course around Greenwood Lake it's nice and cool. Had some cool breezes come by. The ride was just about as nice as you could imagine. And it's just so cool to have two bikes exactly the same or very similar on a ride, and I just couldn't be happier with the way the day turned out, and congratulations to Joe on a really nice restoration. Joe's bike ran great. We had a great time. Yeah. The GS twins. What a nice day this turned out to be.
Nice photo of the two bikes together.
So Joe's bike ran great on this little shakedown run. We had no issues at all. We had a beautiful ride of, I don't know, 80 miles, 75 miles. Whatever it was very enjoyable, and it's great seeing the two of them side by side like twins, like siblings or whatever. And I know Joe has a couple more little upgrades he wants to do to his bike. I have some always to do to my bike. Keeping these 40-year-old bikes running and that they're reliable to take on rides can be challenging, but we're up to the challenge. So Joe and I patiently waited for this day to come, and it finally got here, and it was well worth waiting for. We really had an exceptional day now. Over the years, Joe has contributed some parts into this project. I've helped him with his project, and we've swapped parts around and tested parts together. He's helped me with the garden, with stonework, and we really have capped off everything today with this joint ride. Now, for anybody who doesn't enjoy this kind of stuff, I mean, the beautiful part about motorcycling is there's people that enjoy cross-country rides, people enjoy riding in the dirt, or riding in dirt and the street, or people enjoy racing at the track, or racing on the street, or both. And there's room for everybody, and to be honest, I like almost all of it. And that's the problem, is because I'm always limited with how much time I have, and certainly limited with how much money I can spend. I'm not at the point where I can just go order up new bikes on a whim, but restoring these old bikes and polishing up the parts, getting them back to where they run reliably, and making some carbon fiber parts. And a lot of it has to do with the maintenance of keeping them running. They don't stay running like effortlessly. It's not like you bring them into the dealer once every 5 years. And I try to post up a new video almost every day. We have so many great memories of the projects we've worked on, the bikes I've restored, the bikes I've helped other people restore, the Evil Twin projects, the wheels, the custom wheels that there's probably 100 videos of custom wheels out on my channel. And to search my channel for any subject, you put my name in quotation marks and the subject, carbon fiber, wheels, seats, tanks, repainting, polishing, whatever. But it's all, the whole purpose of doing it is to enjoy the company of good fellow riders and the fun we have sharing the passion of motorcycling. And thanks for watching.